Hello again. Good, so today we're going to use weights. So if you're happy to do that, you've got a pair handy. Some hand weights, no heavier, these are 1.5 kilograms, so that's probably more than enough actually for the arms if you're repeating lots of movements. If you haven't got hand weights, you can use a tin of beans, tin of soup, something similar that you can comfortably hold in your hand, just to create a little bit of resistance for your arms. As always, you're under no obligation to add weight, so you can do the whole thing without weights in your hand. So it's a personal preference thing, and some days you might choose to do one over the other. Good, so it's a HIIT session, so it's a high intensity interval training session. In between each of the movements we're going to do, weighted or otherwise, we're going to do something called, it's a Kundalini movement, high knees, where you'll do one knee up, the opposite arm punches up, and you switch. And it's a dynamic, so this isn't kind of a floppy, it's a real go for it movement. All right, so that's what we're doing for 60 seconds. And then we kind of have like a little 10-second breather before we go on to our next movement. Good, I hope you enjoy spending your time with me today. Good, come down to your mat. We'll just prepare for our time together with a little bit of breathing. As always, an amazing way to center your mind and bring it back to the present moment. So as you perhaps sit in your comfortable position, legs bent or maybe in a V shape, just see what the shoulders are doing. They might be kind of curling round, and sometimes it's not until you're drawn to them that you realise they're in that place. So let's just roll them up towards the ears, back and down. Remember, shoulders to ears rather than ears to shoulders. So do that a few times, let your hands kind of slide on the legs. 2 more. And do the next one in slow motion, so bring your shoulders forwards and up. And to my count of 5, allow them to drop back down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Settle. Close your eyes. Once again, draw your mind onto your breath. So you're simply allowing your body to be breathed by your breath. So rather than actively or even forcefully pulling your breath in as you think it should be drawn in and then pushing it away, just be open to receive this life forces prana and let it go to wherever it's needed. Well done. Open your eyes. Just shake off the wrists. Let's give the wrist a little bit of a squeeze. We're going to use, if you're using the weights, there's also a tendency to over sort of clench. So when you're holding your weights or your tins, whatever you're using, just make sure that you're securely keeping them in place, but not gripping them with too much effort and energy. Okay, good. Roll through your fingers, interlink your hands, press your palms away, then press the backs of the hands away. Good. Shaking off the arms. Well done. And make your way up. So you're standing at one end of your mat. We'll just do a little bit of sun salutation, a little bit of Surya Namaskar to prepare the body for movement. Here we go. Hands together at the heart center. Breathing arms out and up. Exhale as you dive. Legs bent or straight. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale, make your way to downward dog. Good. Let's wave through to plank, knees down, untop the toes, and wave down to the floor. Cobra, breathe in, hands and knees. Release your knees, hips up and back. Downward dog. In through the nose. Just start to think about pinning your rib cage in place as opposed to letting it sort of open like a book. Draw it in. Well done. Look forwards. Walk or step your feet to the space between your hands. Inhaling to your Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Arms out and up. Back to Padmasana, mountain pose. And again, breathe in. Dive as you exhale. Inhale to your halfway up position. Firm up through your hands, step back, downward dog. Good. Plank pose. Knees down, untuck the toes, wave into the floor. Good. Cobra. Hands and knees. Downward dog. Good. Settle into downward dog. As I say, just remember, this is your practice, so if downward dog isn't right for you, you can always come into extended child's pose. Good. So similar action through the upper body, but not so dynamic on the backs of the legs. Looking forward, so don't forget that rib cage, draw it in. Walk or step your feet to the front of your mat, inhaling to your halfway up position. Exhale as you fold. Arms out and up, breathe in. Hands to the heart center, breathing out. One more, breathe in. Dive forwards. Ardha Uttanasana, inhale, exhale, downward dog. Plank pose, knees wave to the floor. Cobra, flowing movement, hands and knees, downward dog. Now from here, bring your hands a little bit closer, and however you need to do it, you're going to end up with your right foot on the outside of your right hand and your left foot on the outside of your left hand. Good. Breathe in, come up, palms together overhead, exhale back down, up and down. Up and down. Stay up. Exhale. Draw your feet a little closer. Hands back to your heart center. Brilliant. So we're good to go. So our first movement is an up and down lunge. So both legs softly bent, both legs straight. This will be the movement. All right. And we're going to add some weights to it. We're going to work with a bicep curl. And we're going to start in this low lunge position. So as you inhale, you'll come up. As you exhale, you'll curl and come back to your down lunge position. All right, we'll do 20 on each side. Okay, so set yourself up. Come down into that deep bend on the front leg, a little softer on the back leg. Curl your weights in towards you. So really curl them into the front of the shoulders. Good. Breathe in, straighten. Exhale back. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sorry, it's 10 on each side, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Stay as you are, but simply spin around so you're facing the opposite direction. Bend the opposite leg that's at the front, the other leg a little bit softly. Arms up in front of the shoulders. Remember, you can just make a soft fist if you're not using a weight, it's fine. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well done. 9, 10. Well done. Pop your weights down. So we go straight into that kind of high knee movement. So, left leg, right arm. Here we go. So punch, 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 punch. Surprisingly aerobic, this movement. So, if you need to breathe through your mouth, that's fine. So we're just halfway. Stay strong. Well done. So just make sure that you're still strong with the movement, a purposeful movement. 10 seconds. It's a long time, a minute, isn't it, to do something. And relax, good. Just hands on your hips. Little circle one way and the other, 10 seconds here. Good. Grab your weights if you're using them. Don't worry if you're not. Nice wide position. Good. So the weight in your right hand is just going to hang. You breathe in here, exhale, over you go. Other weight slides up the other side, body good. Breathe in center, exhale, over you go. So 10 this way. Good. Remember, breathing through the mouth is fine. 3 more, 3. I'm notorious at forgetting 2. 1, the number we're working with. Good. Other side. Over you go. 1, 2, 3. So try not to sway with the legs. So kind of from the, at least from the groin down, everything's more or less static. I think we've got 2 more. 1, 2. Well done. Straighten the legs. Pop your weights down. We go back to the one arm, one knee. Off we go. Trying to see my little timer down here, just to make sure we don't overdo it. So you're really punching. Do be careful you haven't gone into the kind of what I call a flop. There's effort involved. Good. Ooh, lost my position there. It's all gone a bit pear-shaped, but I'm still doing opposite arm and opposite knee. 10 seconds. Right, got it back, good. And rest, good. Circle. One way, then the other. So, using your weights again, if that's your preference. I'm going to do what you call a rowing squat. So, you'll be here as you squat, and you draw your arms back. So you've got this kind of rowing action. Really squeeze the shoulder blades together. Okay, 20. Here we go. Starting your squat, arms forwards. Maybe the weight's touching in that position. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's okay to have soft elbows if you're using weights. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, well done, hips back. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, well done, 18, 19, last one, 20, good. Pop your weights down, again, whatever you're using, put them to one side. Whew. Get ready for your 60 minutes, opposite arm. 60 seconds, I should say. Wow. Okay, here we go. So if you find that the tempo you've chosen is now a little bit challenging for you to keep that purposeful movement, slow it down so you can really punch through the arm. And if you're like me, maybe your arms go a little bit forwards. I'm going to touch shoulders. Kick. Sorry. Punch. Well done. 10 seconds. 3, So now we get to target the back of the arm. Once again, your weight to be using, if not, exactly the same movement. Just make a soft fist, so thumb to base of little finger, 4 fingers curled around your thumb. We're going to step the left foot back. Now you can do this from an upright position, so you'll be kind of here, trying to get the elbows up, maybe, probably not in line with the shoulders, but that kind of idea. So you extend the arms back, and then come back to your start position. A little bit more of a challenge is to come halfway forwards, so you're engaging your core. So again, up to you. So if you're here, knit that rib cage in towards the spine, navel to spine. Good. We do 10 on this leg, and then 10 on the other leg. Find your start position. But breathe in as you extend, exhale as you come back. Here we go, another 9. 9, 8, 7, 6. Control the down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Again, as we did earlier, straighten the back leg and the front leg. Spin around. Set yourself up either upright or halfway between up and down. Firming up through that navel center. If you're here, try and line your upper arms up with the sides of your body. Good. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well done. Straighten the legs, pop your weights down. Good. Maybe shake the arms up. Good to go for your one knee, one arm. Let's go. See if you can put a bit more oomph into the punch, really, because that's usually the bit that gets a bit kind of very, kind of light and feathery. Good. And have the idea that you're marching, so you can probably hear my feet. Good. Sometimes repetitive movement, it morphs into other things, so just come back if you need to. 3, 2, 1. Well done. Little hip circle, one way. Yay. Whew. And then the other, good. So if you're using your weight, you're just going to grab one this time. You're going to hold it in this position. Okay, if you're not using your weights, interlink your fingers and thumbs so the heel and the hands are together. Good. So Malasana, wide squat, goddess pose. Hips back a little bit. We're aiming to bring the elbows together. Good, so bring the feet a tiny bit closer. Good. So as you inhale, you'll come up, twist, exhale back. Okay, so 10 to the right, so we've got another 9. 9, 8. Nice straight line from your standing legs, so you're not leaning over. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. If you find elbows together too much, then weight or fists towards the knee. Okay, let's go to the other side. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well done. Stay up, pop your weight down. Ready for high knees? Punching through or punching stuff away. So you can always bat it away, whatever you don't need. Use your fists, get some power in there. Good to go. Last one. Good. Here we go. Punch, punch, punch. Now you can coordinate a strong exhalation on every second punch maybe. Otherwise, you'll be breathing quite quickly if you pop one on each extension of the arm. Halfway, well done. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done, hands to your waist, circle. Well done. So we're going to do a salute A. Come to one end of your mat. Hands at the heart centre. Just keep the body moving, breathe in. Exhale as you come forward. Inhale halfway up. Exhale down. Usual flow, so plank, knees, wave to the floor. Cobra, breathe in. And transition to hands and knees. Downward dog as you exhale. 3 breaths here. Just knitting that rib cage in again. And walking or stepping to the front as you inhale, halfway, exhale, fold. Arms out and up, breathe in. Straight into the next vinyasa. Folding forward as you exhale. Inhale halfway. Exhale, downward dog. Plank, knees, wave. Good. Cobra, sort of reversing the wave to take you back to downward dog. Good. Looking forwards, walk or step to the front, come halfway, inhale, and the back to this position is that one inhalation. Exhale as you fold. Arms out and up, breathe in. Hands together at the heart centre as you breathe out. Good. So you have 2 options now. You can rewind me, which might be fun, and repeat the whole thing again. You'll come to the same point where you do a couple of rounds of Surya Namaskar A at the end. And once you've done as much as you'd like to do, whether it's finishing here with me now or rewinding, completing another round of all those movements, we come back to the front of the mat. Good. Hands together at the heart centre, arms out and up, breathe in. Exhale as you dive. Inhale halfway. Exhale, just step your right foot back, right knee down. Good. We're just going to circle the left arm. So let's keep the elbows soft as you breathe in, circle that arm. Sort of forwards, wrap it almost around your head, take your chest towards your left knee, take the arm back behind you, and do that circle again. So allowing the kind of shoulder blade is sliding around on the back a little bit. This one we do that half circle where the arm extends up towards the ceiling. This time we allow the shoulder blade to settle into the centre of the back on the left side there. You can complete the circle, got there in the end. Pop your hand down and just rock forwards and backwards. So come up onto that front heel, leg straight, and then back onto the sole of that foot, leg bent. Well done. When you come forwards, tuck your back toes and step back to downward dog. Good. Let's just do the other side. So come onto your knees and step your right foot forwards now. Well done. So same thing. Sweep the right arm forwards. We'll keep it soft. Just kind of soften it so much you can almost wrap it around your head and take the arm back behind you, forwards and through again. Now your back toes can be extended or you can have them tucked. Sometimes it feels a bit more stable if they're tucked. Remember that shoulder blade at the moment is kind of gliding around a bit on the back. One more. And then we finish with the arm extending up and you sort of not glue but allow your shoulder blade to settle. into stillness. On the back of your body there, sliding towards the opposite shoulder blade. Keep a softness to this raised arm. Remember to press up and out of your supporting hand. Well done. Complete your circle. Bring your hand back to the floor. Tuck your back toes if they're not tucked. And then rock backwards and forwards. Straighten the front leg and then bend the front leg. Well done. Now from here, just settle back. I'll turn to face you. Settle back so if possible you're sitting on your heels. If that's too much, you can sit on a brick or legs in a V shape. We can even do this from a chair. It's about the arms really and the shoulders, so there's no need to worry if you find sitting on the floor or your heels too much. Good. Let's just close our eyes for a moment. Bring the breath back into the nostrils. Well done. So we're going to do a little cow's head movement. So take your arms out to the side. Good. Right arm up, left arm down. I'll just remind you, I'll just turn around and remind you of the position we're looking for. We're looking to, if possible, hook the fingers around each other. Not everyone's cup of tea, so you can just hold on to your top. Or if you've got a yoga strap handy or a belt, you can use that. But I prefer, if possible, to be propless, and it's kind of more accessible. Yoga is more accessible, I think, when you don't have to use props all the time. Good, so just find the movement you're working with. And then encourage this top arm, you're encouraging it to come almost behind the head there. Now keep your top arm where it is. The arm that's behind you, sweep it out, around and over, and see if you can grab hold of the upper arm of the arm that's behind your head or nearly behind your head. Then start to think about extending that arm out to the side so the other arm then gets drawn closer to the back of the head. So you might find you're here, you might find you're here actually. So I would suggest probably just staying in that cow's head position that we were in with your arms folded behind you. Maybe fingertips touching together. Turn your palm so it's facing down. Well done, gently release. Good, shake the arms off. Let's go to the other side. So whatever arm you had up, the opposite one now goes up. Other arm behind you, one side is probably more accessible than the other. You can always use your hand to encourage. The other hand to climb up back. Try not to overarch your back here, just to get your hands closer. So think navel and rib cage supporting the midsection of the body still. So as we did on the other side, the arm that's behind your back is going to release out to the side and up, soften it. So don't worry about moving this top arm, it's okay. See if you can grab hold of the upper arm, then straighten out the other arm that you've got hold of and start to take it out to the side. Now if you've got a restriction on your shoulder, I have on this side, then you kind of go in with it really, and you'll find the limits of this movement. As I say, if it doesn't work for you, just stay in the original position with your hands bent behind you, your arms bent behind you, sorry. Watch that back. Well done. Slowly release. Now just bring opposite hand to opposite elbow and pressing the arms back. So press, press, press. And now if you can hook your thumbs underneath, as if you're trying to slide your hands away from each other, they're not towards each other, but they're not moving. So real work through the arms here, just to open through the shoulders a little bit. Pull, 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 pull. Good, rest. Have a look which hand's underneath and then change. Good. So press back first and then you're pulling away. So as if your hands were going to slide towards each other. So you're pulling, pulling. So your elbows are going away from each other with that idea of pulling, pulling, pulling. Try not to hold your breath. Well done. Relax. Slowly extend the arms up and gently out and down. Well done. Good. Let's have a little shoulder roll again. Notice what it feels like now. Does it feel different? And remember, there's always a tendency to squish the ears down to the shoulders. So press up through the crown of your head as you roll your shoulders up, back and down. Well done. Brilliant. Good. So sliding off your heels if you're sitting there. We're going to come back down onto our mats. Legs in a nice wide V shape, wide position, so as wide as your mat today. Knees facing up towards the ceiling. Now if you're happy to do that same arm position here, sort of opposite hand to opposite elbow, you can. Otherwise, just pop your arms where they're comfy. Good. Notice here you've got this over-exaggerated release of the lower back from your mat. I'd like you to go with that as long as it feels okay. So it's a passive, if you like, a back bend. So we're not actively making the shape. Your body just generally makes the shape as you elevate your arms. Okay? Good. So we're going to allow the knees to gently fall and let them really fall to the right. And then the right foot can rest on the outside of that left knee. And if your foot's on your knee, gently pressing down on the outside of that leg, just to encourage a little bit more length into the front thigh on the left leg there. Well done. So you're going to come back up to the centre, release your foot if it's on the knee, bring your knees up. If your arm's up overhead, have a look, because it doesn't always feel the same as it looks, or looks the same as it feels. So other hand underneath, reposition your arms again. Let your knees fall over to the left. Maybe left foot on the outside of the right knee there. And applying a little bit of pressure so you can feel the foot pressing down, but not too much. You may find sensation on the inner thigh here as well. Maybe above the right side waist there. Well done. Release your foot if it's underneath. Breathe your knees to that upright position. And slowly take a moment to return your arms down by your side. Heel turn your feet and knees towards each other. And draw the knees onto the chest. Let's have a little rock from side to side. That should be really good. Maybe circle the knees. Then pop your feet down one at a time. And either tenting the knees, walk the feet wide again, or slide your feet away so your legs are in a really good and obvious V shape. So you can over-exaggerate the V of the legs here. And just check that anything you've been using, any props or anything, any weights, whatever you've used, you're not connecting with those as you lie down on your mat. So no contact between anything other than the back of your body on your mat. Close your eyes. Come back to your breath, just as we did at the beginning. And see if the way you're kind of taking the breath, you're receiving the breath, has changed. Maybe the tempo of your breath has shifted, it may be slower. Maybe the sensation of the breath, maybe it's lighter but still lovely and deep. Maybe you're aware of a pause at the top of the inhalation and the stillness at the bottom of the exhalation. So if you want to find that pause, we can just be really sympathetic with it. We can just add it very gently to our breath rather than forcing it to be there. So you breathe in till you're full. And when you're fully inflated, then that's where you kind of tick the pause box. So you find that little pause. And after a few seconds, you let your breath go. And when you're completely empty, notice the stillness once you've let all your breath go. So breathe in again. So you breathe into the pause. And you breathe out to stillness. So you can continue to breathe in that way with just a conscious insertion, if you like, of that little pause and that little moment of stillness. But you may find that if you have the luxury of spending 5 minutes on your mat, as you continue to practice in this way with your breath, that those pauses and still points naturally lengthen without you having to apply anything else to that moment, that part of your breath. So initially we just add that little micro pause and that micro moment of stillness, and perhaps they develop of their own accord as you continue to breathe, as you continue to find stillness in Shavasana, and as you give yourself permission to let go. Perhaps staying here for a few more moments, or if you're ready to do so, begin to make small movements with your fingers and toes as you gently and softly return to the present moment. Draw the legs together along the length of your mat. Breathe in, sweep your arms up and overhead. Feel that nice little natural release of your spine again, that lovely little back bend. Holding the breath, consciously retaining the breath for a couple more seconds before letting it go with an audible sigh. Take a moment to draw your knees onto your chest. Circle maybe, find stillness. One or both of those maybe will feel really good. And then you can roll onto one side to come up, or hands to the back of the knees, flex your feet, kick into the air to help you come up to your comfortable seated position. Hands come together at the heart centre. Good, so I hope you enjoyed this little HIIT yoga session, and you can join me next time on the mat. Namaste, as always.